Ever since the airing of episode 3 of The Bad Batch, titled Replacements, I, along with many other fans, have been making connections and hypothesizing about Crosshair leading the first squad of Death Troopers. Today, I want to analyze this theory and back it up with some things that we know about the Death Troopers. Everything that I'm referencing in this video is either from Clone Wars Season 7, The Bad Batch, Rebels, or the book Star Wars Stormtroopers Beyond the Armor. Let's jump right into it by going over some things about the Death Troopers and comparing it to what we know about Crosshair and the Bad Batch. Number 1. The Death Troopers are different than regular Stormtroopers, not only in their armor, but in their physical stature, their skills, and robotic nature, such as the way their communications are scrambled. If you ask me, Crosshair and the Bad Batch are exactly the same. Even if we take the rest of the Bad Batch out, look at Crosshair. He's different than regular clones by the armor he wears, his physical appearance, which we'll come back to later, his skills, which we'll also address in a minute, and his robotic nature. I know this one's a bit of a stretch, but Crosshair is the least human of all of the Bad Batch. He's cold, emotionless, and barely has anything to say most of the time.
Crosshair, on the other hand, is not much of a conversationalist.
Number 2. The Death Troopers were originally conceived as elite units assigned by Imperial intelligence to act as bodyguards for key military officials. This makes me think that if this theory is to be believed, we may see Crosshair and his squad begin protecting Rampart or Tarkin, or any other high-ranking Imperials for that matter. Number 3. In the Bad Batch, the squad is made up of different types of people. In Rebels, we see that the Death Troopers are not just men,
but the women. And the children, too.
Number 4. Now, I know I may be reaching with this one, but I said we'd come back to Crosshair's appearance. And the Death Troopers were intentionally made taller and thinner than the Regs. And look at Crosshair. I mean, what do you think? Number 5. The original idea of the Death Troopers was said to be a mix of organic and mechanical. I included this because the clones are kind of like that. They're organic, yes, but they're clones. They also have inhibitor chips in their heads, which we learned first in Season 6 of the Clone Wars and then later in this series in Rebels, that can be used to control them. So they sort of are a mix of organic and mechanical. Number 6. My final point again comes from the Stormtrooper book. It mentions that Death Troopers were finally envisioned as humans, but augmented with classified surgical enhancements. Sound familiar? Crosshair is literally a human clone that has been genetically modified to have enhanced abilities. Maybe later on the Empire figures out a way to do this surgically to adult humans, and they don't need to do it on embryos like the clones. Overall, I think that all of this information lays pretty solid groundwork for Crosshair and his squad being the first of the Death Troopers. Now, we won't officially know until it's explicitly said, either in this series or another, but it's fun to make these connections. Let me know your thoughts, and also if I missed any other connections between the Death Troopers and Crosshair. Also, leave a like if you liked this video. I'm trying something a little bit different with this, so let me know how it goes.